Good morning, map makers and everybody on the channel. Mr. Kage, I see you in chat. Hello, hello, hello. Um, Today we're going to be looking at biomes, and we're going to be approaching biomes a different way. This has been something that I've been pulling my hair out for the last week or so on a campaign map, and I finally figured out how I want to approach this and how, in my opinion, it should be approached. So let's go ahead and first of all thank our patrons, Dr. V, Pain of France, Alifius, the Puppet Master, Disney Reject, and of course Mr. J. Also, Northern Line is in chat, guys. Hi, Northern. And Mr. Kage is on chat too. So let's go ahead and get started. The first part of this podcast live stream that we do, we're going to look at biomes and how to do it, and then we can probably go into make a campaign map with chat or whatever you guys would like to do. This is going to be about an hour long. My daughter, we have to take her to an appointment. So let's go ahead and get started really quick. Okay, here's the campaign map that I've been working on. This one is in Art Rage. And as you can see, it's a very, very extremely detailed map. And what's been getting me is biomes. Where should the biomes be? What should the land look like? What should the temperature? Is this in the north or south? Is it cold in the south? Is it cold in the north? Is it warm in the north? Is it cold in the south? So I've been pulling my hair out on this. I love the map form. I love what I've done with the mountains. I like the form of it. It's working for me. I love all the intricate details before I put rivers in and stuff like that. But before rivers in, I got to find out what kind of biome we're in. So the first step to do this is find out the scale of the map. In this case, let's go ahead and look at scale. Okay, the scale of this map is 36 inches by 24 inches with a DPI of 500. So the question is, well, what is 36 inches, horizontal and 24 inches vertical? What is that? What does that compare to? So we look at, let's say 1 inch equals 50 miles. That means a person traveling not over just straight can walk 25 miles a day. So it'd take them 2 days to walk it would take 2 days to walk an inch. So to walk all the way through this, we take 36, we times it by 2, we times that by 25, and we're looking at 1,800 miles. So that would be a scale if 1 inch equals 50 miles. But I want this map to be bigger. I want this map to be huge. I want this to be the size of Europe and half of Asia. So I'm going to have to adjust my scale accordingly. Am I breathing too hard in the mic there, Mr. Kage? Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Also, Mr. J, thank you for being here. I know you're the silent type, but massive respect. So I want a big map. That's a good question, and we're going to address that, Mr. Kage. Mr. Kage said Southern Hemisphere, something in the temperate zone, with North being more of a steep desert. We're actually going to explore both of those. We're going to explore if we're cold up north or we're cold down south with this approach. But again, we're working right now on the scale. So I want this to be huge. So I'm going to go 1 inch equals 100 miles. Okay. So we go back to yield calculator. And we take that 36 and we times that by 4. So it would take 144 days to cross this map. And we times that by 25. That's 3,600 miles. Let's do that vertically. 24 times 4 is 96, and you times that by 25. That's 2,400 miles. And again, the math behind this is we take the inches, we take how many 25-foot measurements are in an inch, and we times that accordingly. If we just did a day's walk an inch, that's 36 days to walk, times that by 25, and that's 900 miles. If we did it 4 days to walk an inch would take the 36, we times it by 4. That gives us 144 days to cross. We times that by 25 to get our scale. So 3,600 miles by 2,400 miles. In kilometers, let's go ahead and look. Because kilometers make sense. Okay, kilometers wise, it'd be 5,000 793, and 2400 would be 3,862. So I have that helps up in Canada, where they actually, you do math right with metric system. Believe me, I'm a big fan of metric system. I love it. Okay, so we have the scale. Now, why am I doing miles? Well, because Google Earth is set in miles. So right now we're in Google Earth, and I want to kind of get a feeling of the size and the shape of and where biomes would naturally occur. So we're going with a 36,000 miles. We'll start here. So we're going almost all the way over to the Gobi Desert from from Spain and Portugal. And then we are going to go down 2,000 miles, and it looks like we're down in Egypt in the hot zone and stuff like that. So the next question is, okay, we kind of have on our map what it kind of should look like. If it's hot, we're going to have deserts up top and kind of a nice southerly thing going on down here. If it's hot below, meaning the equator is below it, we're going to have some deserts and kind of cool and nice up top like this. Canada, eh? Let's go ahead and look at, this is the climates and biomes of Europe. This is about 3/4 of the map size we're working on. And we're taking a look at this and we're learning stuff about how weather flows. Okay. In this case, we have the jet stream going from west to east. And over here in the Atlantic Ocean, we have a large, let's actually get this. Whoa, that's a little on the big side there. We have a large area of of warm water that moves this way. That creates a jet stream that moves the warm water up here. Now we have the equator, of course, down here, a couple thousand miles, but we have that the hot sun makes all the water evaporate and moves it into this area and down below into the jungle. Let's go with a good example back to Google Earth. You can see where the equator is. You can see where it's mostly hot, and high pressure will get rid of moisture. So this area is being sucked of moisture. And where's the moisture going? Well, it's going in two places. It's going up into Europe and down south into the Congo area and Somalia and this other Europe. Same thing with India and stuff like that. Now, our jet stream, though, moves in the northern from the Atlantic over this way into the Russia. And then down here, it moves the opposite way. It moves from like the India's over here, and that's why India's green. In North America is kind of weird, to be 100% honest with you. You have the jet stream that usually runs from the Pacific Ocean over to the Atlantic Ocean. And what that does, it creates with the mountains of the Sierra Nevadas and also the Rocky Mountains, it creates this massive, rich paradise weather along the California coast all the way up into Canada. Well, what's blocking that? Well, we have these Sierra Nevada mountains, which are just gigantic mountains. We have the Rocky Mountains blocking that. And because of that, we have this whole desert area. Now, in the western United States, we have the hot tropical water that is being catched by that jet stream and moves it over into the eastern United States. And if we move over here, that jet stream kind of applies over in this area. Except we have a very warm, huge warm weather here that moves up north. This moves down south, and that's how that is formed. So let's go ahead and look at our map, and let's have a kind of a talk on this. So the first question is, where is our jet stream? Which way does our jet stream flow in this world? If it's flowing this way, we're going to have with these mountains, and I'm basing this biome characteristics. Yeah, Oregon has the best summer weather, good for pools and rivers. If we're moving west to east, then these mountains, we have this huge range of mountains here. We have a large range of mountains here. We have some mountains here. If it is moving, then all my green area is going to be in this area, and it might come down like this But this is going to be kind of green and stuff, and this is going to be, if we have these big mountains, arid. See, I'm using the topography of this map to decide where my biomes are going. Let's look at the mountains really quick. Let's just Control Z these. And again, these mountains are pretty big, pretty realistic. So let's go ahead and first of all select our mountains. Well, okay, before I do that, sorry, getting ahead of myself. If our jet stream is coming this way, now something interesting happens is that if our jet stream's coming this way, it's going to be blocked off these mountains, but it's going to come through here kind of like it does through Europe. See that right there? That, okay, same kind of thing. And I kind of like that. And then let's say we have this going on. Let's say we have a warm tropical here. So we got tropicalness going here, here. And then up here, maybe we have the jet stream going this way. Okay, so this would make if this was warm, this would be a desert area. This down here would be kind of a jungly area. This right here would be a very temperate. And this would be kind of a very cold area. Okay, but let's go ahead and look at mountains. So we kind of got an idea of how the directions of the wind works. But for your map, once you get your map done, we're going to say, okay, let's figure out what the biomes are going to be. And I'm having a hard time with that, and I finally figured out how to do that. And it's right in front of me. We find where the mountains are, and we decide where our jet stream is. So let's go ahead and mark our mountains. We're going to go with a nice red here. Our mountains, now making sure I'm in the right layer, we have this huge amount of mountains right here. We have a large mountain range right here. And we have a scraggly mountain range here, here, and here. And here, here, and here, and here. Okay, so we've kind of, let's get these guys too. That's our mountain range, and those are either going to block or channel weather through places. So I'm going to ask myself, if this is hot down south, okay, if this is warm, since we have a large body of water in this area, in the bottom left and bottom right, so this is all hot water in this area, and that's going to move up through this. Yeah, art. How do you say that? Artifexin, if you want to help with eco and bio such. Oh, thanks, Mr. Kage. So I'm going to say we have if south is hot, we're going to have a lot of warm water down here. So that moisture is going to come up here and spread through this area. All right, very cool. Well, if this is hot, then and we have the jet stream here, up in this area. Well, let's say we have cold water up here. So our jet stream up here would move this way. And if we had kind of a temperate, kind of cool, our jet stream would move this way. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a nice, let's make this a little bit more green. In between these mountains, I have this nice temperate California-like weather, kind of Russian, European weather. Wonderful summers, cold winters. So I would have this large biome right here. And this is when we start making our biomes. Let's add another layer to this. So we have our mountains. Hold on one second. We have our mountains. We have our kind of idea of where weather's going to flow. Up here, though, we're going to, if cold air is coming here, this area is going to be affected, and this area is going to be affected. Let's go ahead and look at that now. We have our mountains and stuff like that. And let's divide everything into biome. Let's start with this temperate biome that we have a large airflow coming down in this area. This will be our first biome. And again, I'm using the mountains of my map to figure this out. Our second biome is this really nice sunny area, okay? So we have this, I'm going to say this is being affected too. So we kind of have a biome right here. And then we have a biome right here. So let's kind of number these 1, 2, 3. Let's hide the mountains and stuff like that. Our next biome is going to be over on this side of the map. And we're going to say this is connecting There's our next biome because we have those mountains and stuff. Yeah, in this case, the West will be a lot more arid. Uh, and it would be European on the shores. You're exactly right, Northern. This place is going to separate a lot of the cold air is going to fall in this area. So we could just say this entire area with the other jet stream that's going kind of along here, it's pulling moisture away from this area. This biome kind of be like right there. Let's go 4, 5, 6. And now you can see I've divided my map into different biome groups. Okay, I have my temperate. I have if this is hot, this is what my biome is going to look like. So this is the hot biome. Well, hot south. Okay, let's look at a different biome if we change everything. Let's say the north is cold and the upper is hot. And let's say that my winds are kind of coming this way. Then down here, they're kind of coming this way. Okay, so what it's going to look like is actually, so we have a large biome that's catching the moisture. Okay, and then we have, of course, our other biomes. Say probably like that, because the air is going like this. And the air would probably flow like this. So we have another kind of stretched out biome. And we have a mountain here, so the wind would catch here and would have a different biome because the wind's basically coming through here and going whoop because of these mountain areas, but it's catching in this mountain range. Now, this area would be a little drier because everything's moving over it. There would be some, if this is warm and we're getting air that's moving like this, we're getting horrible storms right here where the cold meets the warm. So this area would be its own biome. And again, this area would be. But if you guys notice, oh, Billy Hollywood, how are you doing? Billy, I'm doing good. I am doing very good. I'm back. So we'll be talking very soon. Matthew 22, I'm looking to know how to make an interactive map, either by Unity or Unreal or any engine that makes the possible tutorials. I'm looking for tutorials, but I didn't find it. I made an RPG map. Yeah, this is Florida right here in this area. That would probably be Florida. If the South was cold and this is hot and this is cold, we'd have Florida right here. There'd be horrible storms and stuff like that. So the question is, which one do we want to go with? Now, my personal feels is that for my adventure map, I have this large area. Yeah, it's hidden. I have this large area that is temperate. That's kind of cool. Okay. And then I have kind of, this area is drier. This area is, we're going to say colder. This area, this area is going to be desert. This area is going to be tropical. This area is going to be Florida. This area is going to be temperate. This is going to be grasslands and arid temperate. Up here, it's going to be subarctic. And over here, it's going to be kind of nice. And if we compare that, now I've added let's go ahead and close that. I've added kind of a European map to this. Let's bring that up. And you can kind of see it. And this kind of gives me an idea of how big the biomes are going to be. Now, if I was doing this specific map, a good 3/4 of my map would be cold. And I kind of don't want that. Because I feel if it's north, I want it to be a little more north. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually move this. Let's transform this. Make sure I'm in the right page. And we're just going to move this up about right there. Okay, good idea, good idea. So we can kind of see kind of where the size of our biomes. And this is just a real world example. This size of the map is pretty accurate to what I'm doing. Billy, I want to see some pictures from GalaxyCon. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes, hot steps, hot steeps. So again, we have our trade winds coming here. Let's actually add another layer. So if our biome is going to be here, so this is going to be our temperate zone. Again, we're looking for size of biomes, and I'm basing this off of mountains. So temperate. And this area down here is going to be, this area is kind of semi-arid. This place is definitely arid. Let's actually extend that to where the mountains are. So all this is going to be arid. And this area is going to be tropical. Because we have this warm, I'm going to say there's warm water here. And it's pushing all this moisture up into this area. So actually this place here would be Florida. I mean, it's kind of funny. We're basing everything on Florida. And this would be cool. And would probably have our cold right there. So I've kind of, this is, I think, what I'm going to go with. This is what I think I'm going to go with for this map. Because I want I want kind of the middle to be kind of English. I want it to be kind of temperate with summers and, and everything else. So that's what I'm kind of going with this map. And I think this is the right direction to go. And again, reviewing the process of what I did with it and reviewing the processes of, let me just review that. So I know I'm babbling a little bit, but I'm really excited about kind of figuring out how this. So usually in a map, I start with the land, and then sometimes I do the biomes next, and then I do the mountains and then rivers. But I'm finding if you get the map done and you place the mountains where you want and you make it look good and don't worry about biomes, once you got the map done, that's when you can think of biomes. And you go in, again, the steps is mark your mountain ranges as such. Decide which way the wind's going to go. And then use the wind and use the mountains to create those biomes. And scale is very important too. This is also so this is Florida. Yeah, you get Florida, everybody gets Florida. So that's how I'm going to approach this map, and I find it very accurate at comparing it with the European map of roughly the same size and the same temperatures and stuff like that. This is a realistic depiction of the biomes of my map area here. So if we were to draw that, yeah, it doesn't want, okay. So if we were to draw that, have this area, maybe even there too, temperate. And again, I'm doing this really quick. Would have this area would be warm. This area would be tropical. Again, this area would be warm, temperate. This area would be semi-arid. Can't really see that because it's the same color. This is cold. And this would be steeps and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, if there's a warm body of water like the Caribbean, I'm kind of basing it off of the southeast. I'm basing it off of the southern United States. So the very bottom would be tropical, like this area here. Let's get a different color. So this area, let's get the pen. This area here would be tropical because I'm saying there's a hot body of water down here, but all that moisture is being blocked by these mountains. So this is tropical. This would be Mediterranean if I really got into it there. Yeah, I know. But the southern Florida and the Caribbean is definitely tropical. So that's kind of what I'm basing that off of. I might change that. And let's add pirates now. Let's add pirates. Yeah, I love pirates. So that's how I'm doing biomes. I find the mountains. I decide which way the wind's going. And see, the wind would be going, if I was doing actual jet streams and stuff, the wind would be going like this, like this, like this. And then down here would be like this, and like this. Then up here would be just the opposite of this. So it'd be going like, is that right? No, it'd be going like that. That's right. That's right. So the airflow, because of the earth, would be moving like this. And just a reminder on airflow. If this was, let's say this was the, say we have a plane of the world here. Hey, go away. Yeah, the massive body in this east would mess with the climate a little bit. But if we're looking at regions like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and stuff like that, I think it'd actually be really cool if we did a Babylonian theme there, like the Tigris and Euphrates River. That'd be very cool because they're in two bodies of water. And, you know, that's getting me really excited about that area. Okay, let's go back to, if this was the Earth, that's a nice looking Earth. Okay, and this was the equator. We would have a body of hot air in the middle. And that air would rise, cool off, and then come down. So rise, cool off, and then come down. And in this same area, with the water coming down, it would cool this area. And the cold area would create another subversion right in this area. And then you'd have kind of the same thing happen again up here. So this reflects kind of, let's say this is England in these warmer parts, because England has the kind of a warm Atlantic coming into there. So this is the way weather works, and it creates these cycles throughout based on where the sun is hitting. And you get these little things. And it actually looks like it's uplift and downlift, high pressure moving, and it looks just like you get kind of this going, then you get kind of this going this way, then you got another one going this way because they move alternate. And please verify that online. I'm getting this from the National Weather Society, so I don't know. It's pretty accurate on stuff like that. So it would have a biome here. It would have a biome. Let me get a different color with purple. Would have a biome here, biome here, biome here. But then if we have mountains, it's all going to go like crazy because the mountains are going to block the flow of the air and stuff like that. But that's basically how weather works on Earth. Now, you could say magic stuff. You could say other things like that. However, if you base it on reality, if you have a basis of reality and a firm understanding of how weather works, your maps will be a lot more believable. Let's go back to this one. So I'm liking the Tigris and Euphrates down here. Oops, let's add another. So Tigris and Euphrates area, kind of Babylon thing going on here. Kind of a Mediterranean thing going on here. Desert. And I think that's going to be really fun. We got three distinct biomes, and because of our weather, that's pretty much would be correct on what we'd see there. All right, that's kind of the end of the biome talk, me going on for a half hour of how weather works and how we've kind of discovered what we want to do with this map. What do you guys want to do? I got a large number of people in chat. Do you guys want to make a map? Do we want to discuss this map? This map is actually going in the Avantnovis role-playing game as the core world. We did our tester map. Go away. Go away. Yeah, I'm playing Dark Tide. It's so good. This is our tester map we made. Kind of the same thing. But we decided to go with another world that's connected to this world via this. Bertie, hey, how are you? Good to see you. We're discussing biomes, and we are going to, let's go ahead and start making do you guys want to do a map and wonder draft? Do you want to stay on this map and we can like color it? What would you guys like to do? Hello there. Hey, it's been a long time. I've been down and stuff like that, but I'm glad you're here today. Just so you know, I will be starting to stream at noon instead of 11. Art Rage. Okay, Mr. Kage says Art Rage. So let's go ahead and let's start kind of coloring this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a dark green. I'm going to go with my Yield airbrush, and I'm going to turn the pressure and the opacity down. I'm doing a map with this to kind of figure out. Actually, let's do this. Let's duplicate this layer. It's going to take a little time because I don't want the airbrush. The airbrush pressure will actually mess with the map. So I'm going to lock this guy down here, and we're just going to get rid of all this texture here. Just go with it. I'm using my big roller brush to pretty much flatten the image. You can see the other image. So I'm just going with a green, kind of a dark green for now. Pretty much on everything. So let's go ahead and let's start coloring our mountains. Now this is just me going through it. This is a rough draft of me going through it. I like this color here for mountains. I find it fun. So we're going to go with our airbrush. I'm going to start coloring where the mountains are. I'm not worried about biomes. We're going to use the same technique we used when discovering the biomes. I'm just going to put a high point on where these mountains are, as such. Now, I am working with a big map, and I'm also streaming, so Art Rage is kind of having a stroke, because it's not meant to do this kind of blowing this map up to like 8 feet by 6 feet, but that's okay, because we want this super detailed. So we've got our mountains in now. Now, these mountains, I want to be kind of a little lower, so let's go with another green, and this is going to be our highlands for our mountains. We're just going to put them right next to the mountains, and we'll blend these later. And if you notice, we go dark to light to kind of a tan color, and that's going to give us a good idea of where our highlands are and stuff like that. Okay, so we got our mountains, we kind of got our highlands. Let's keep doing this. You know what? Let's go look at that. I'm intrigued. You guys have some really great. Okay. Subduction shows. Oh, this is wonderful. Let's go check this guy's channel out. Oh yeah, this guy knows what. Yes, he knows what he's doing. Very nice. Now subscribe to this guy. I'm not going to watch one of his videos because I think that's kind of plagiarism, but I will check this out. This looks wonderful. Okay, I'll put this link in the video below. Thank you so much for that. Wundrate. Okay, so we're painting our highlands in. This is where the hills and stuff are going. Got kind of something interesting going up here. Kind of have another avenue for weather to travel. Okay, we're getting our top biomes there. All right, and that's kind of closing in on our mountains. We'll put some higher stuff right there. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Now, I'm now going to, let's have just a look here. Make these mountains highlands instead. We'll have a big mountain zone, but this is mostly highlands. This area, yeah, we're still going to have the weather coming just right down into here. So this is really stormy. Comes down into this area like that. So let's go ahead and let's ask ourselves where our deserts are going to be. Our deserts are going to be blocked off by this giant mountain range. So let's go ahead and we're going to drop our opacity a little bit more, and we're just going to color this whole area kind of a island deserty color. with the Tigris and Euphrates here. We have another block off there. So this is going to all be kind of hot, warm. This is going to be tropical down here. Yeah, the big deserts would definitely be in. We'll make that color like that. Let's actually go with a little bit of more orange. Let's move this. We'll actually make it orange to distinguish it a little better by. If Art Rage will, there we go. Okay. So let's, maybe don't like that orange. Let's find it. Ooh, that's it right there. So we have now, we're adding in kind of a desert. So a desert area is going to be kind of down in this area. And we're going to say we have even more mountains that block it off. Our big desert is going to be here. Now, this lake will create some weather, so we got to keep that in mind. But this area is going to be our desert. We have two small little lakes, which is fine. We'll probably make those salt lakes or something like that. So we got our desert there, and our map's starting to take shape and form, and we really like that. Let's go up to the Arctic. I'm going to use this color to kind of do tundra, and we're just going to start all through this area. Now I'm looking up here. There's kind of this, if we had the other jet stream right there and the jet stream going like that, then we have a little bit more moisture there. So we have kind of, let's actually go with kind of a cool color. Not that cool. Yeah, gray. That works. So this is our cold land right up here. Because this mountain blocks off any moisture. And we're going to have this kind of a little bit warmer like that. A bit warmer like that. And we're creating these little bioregions. So it's really cold up here, and all the moisture just hits here, so it just dumps snow. We'll make this a highland there too. And as you can see, we're starting to get a color on the map. We now have our biomes. We now kind of have an idea of where things are. So let's go ahead and develop this a little bit more. Let's go in and let's color these mountains a little bit better. We're going to reduce our brush to about 400. And we're going to repeat the process that we just did, but we're going to refine our shapes. So, because I just slapped on paint, and that's fine. So we have mountains here. I'm going to just kind of use that color. We have highlands. All this area is highlands, so we're going to make sure we get our mountains. But we want our colors to blend. So that's why I'm doing a low opacity on this. I'm going to probably go down to about 20%. That's good. Let's go a little higher. That's good. Okay, that's my setting right there. So let's go ahead and grab our highland color. And we're gently going to do circles where our highlands are. We're going to stay away from our mountains. Just going to add our highlands in like that. Do you see how that kind of just blends together? And we'll refine these shapes a little bit more. Oh, I'm whistling. So refine these shapes. Refine where the highlands are. And I could use another color, but I'm not going to for now, just for the sake of demonstration. A little more highlands there. We got mountains right here, but it's not that bad. So we're going to refine that. Let's go back to our brown color. Just like that. See how that's blending really nice. I'm getting into the Bob Ross mode of this, you know, getting hypnotized by what I'm doing. That's great. That means I'm having fun. Mr. Kage is not Danish. Got it. There we go. Actually, I have ancestors from Denmark on my mother's side of the family. I had a grandma that was definitely Danish, and she had a Viking hat and would braid her hair. She'd keep her hair braids really long so she could tie it up in like a Danish bun and stuff like that. I remember that as a little kid, and that's fun. Okay, do you see how that's developing? It's just not just a line. And all I'm doing is adding color to where that, like right here, we have mountains right here. Let's go ahead and reduce this now to about 200. I'm adding these highland colors and stuff like that. And it's really making the mountain areas pop. Let's come over here and do the same thing. So highlands here. Highlands kind of right there. Same thing here. Got this cool little mountain range there that I need to refine. So let's do that now. Let's go in a little closer. I'm just doing little tiny movements with the brush. Islands up here. And by stacking colors one after another, you start getting a really interesting, like it looks like a map from Earth. We start getting a very interesting patterns that follow the mountains we've made, follow the earth that we've made. So this is kind of a new approach we're doing. We're doing the shape of the land first. Then we're deciding where the winds are coming from, what the ocean is like around these mountains and these areas. And after that, after we define that, that's when we start with the biomes. Because in all honesty, that's kind of how the world was made. You know, the mountains, the texture of the mountains, and then that's going to shape the biomes. Now, eventually, the biomes will be and the rain will be the biggest shapers of the mountains. And we're going to get some rivers here once we know where everything is. Then we'll do rivers, and then we're going to repeat this process. This is a study, again, a study in a realistic map and realistic weather. Let's come down here. Let's get our green back out, and we're just going to hug into these mountain regions, just like that. But we want to keep the mountains. This is more of a highland here, just hilly highland, but we got definite mountains there. Oh, we should put a mountain there. There we go. That makes me feel better. So we got 2 mountain ranges right there. We got some mountain ranges right here. Let's make a little valley. We'll put a river there. That'll be neat. But we got some mountains here. So let's just drag. Let's just blopping a little color on these highland areas. Just a touch. See how that blends well? That's what we want. Yeah, that's what we want. Let's make sure we got those over there. Now we have this cool feeling of where stuff is. Oh, look, we got mountains here. Let's kind of do the same thing. We'll trace the mountains where it is. And again, I'm using a really big brush. I'm just kind of taking my dear sweet time, just kind of having fun with stuff. I'm not too worried about the nitty-gritty details. I'm just saying, hey, this is a high area, this is a low area, this is an area with mountains. And I'm just using color to express that. Oh, hey, see you later. See you, birdie. Thank you for coming. I will be streaming. I might stream Saturday. I don't know. But I will be streaming at noon on Monday. Would love to see you there. Or put it in the comments what time you'd like to see a stream. And I'll work around my schedule because I want you here. Because you're a great person. And that goes for everybody that's watching. I can adjust my schedule on Mondays and Wednesdays to whatever anyone has a preference with. All right. And I'm still coloring. I'm still looking at highlands. I'm still looking at lowlands. I'm using these 3 colors. Just these 3 colors to get things done. Desert's looking good, but let's kind of blend this in a little bit more. Let's pull this green down into the desert. So we're kind of getting this grassland feel here. We're going to put this grassland area around the waters. But just a touch, nothing big, nothing bold, just a touch. And then we're going to come in. Oops, got a texture problem down there. Let's go fix that. There we go. And now we're going to go back with our, let's get kind of a deep brown. Let's highlight the mountains with the deep brown. Show these are arid. Not too much though. We're going to put it around it. And we're going to run this color up. And we're going to go back to our other mountain color. See how that makes the pop with that dark and then go light? Actually, I don't like that. We don't want to use that color. We're going to back to this brown. I lied. We're going to go back to this brown because I think I like it better. Make sure we highlight all the mountains here that's saying, hey, look, this is This is a massive range of mountains that is keeping all this moisture over in this area. Then we'll come in with this brown and we'll just start making these grasslands. Just up into here, up into here. Oh, hey, Northern. Northern, do you want me to stream earlier in the mornings or is this time good? What's good for you, man? Sorry, your Wi-Fi is not kicking it for you. And I hope you're feeling better. Last Monday you said you're in bed. All right, there we go. I did see that question about interactive maps. The answer is what I found to do interactive maps is you have to learn some coding and go with Google Maps Online. That's one way to do it. Or create something in Unity or Unreal that creates an ability to interact with stuff. That's currently, I'm trying to do that myself. That's currently the goal, but it's a very difficult goal and I have to learn some more stuff. So I will keep you updated on what I learn and where that's going. Okay, let's put another color. Let's go into our mountains now. We're just going to, in the highlands, we're going to go with, let's kind of go with a darker orange. That's too much. Maybe brown. So we don't want it looking like mud yet. Let's kind of, in our highlands over here, kind of go with this brighter color. Now the desert's going to be hard because it's such a different color shift, but we're going to blend it out. And the nice thing about this orange we're using, it has a lot of green in it, or it has shades of green. And that's going to allow us to blend things. You see how well that blends with the green right there? We're going to make our highlands this yellow color, and we're going to bleed that yellow color up into this area. And we got to redo these mountains up here because they look like butt. We're kind of that in that if it looks like butt, you're close to making it look good. So never get discouraged on that. Do our highlands over here. We'll go back and do our mountains. That's kind of a fun color. I think that's going to work for us really good. Let's actually bring that color over here. So this kind of a grassland savanna. We want to blend that up into this area. So we have our savanna area, and then we have our highlands. So let's go ahead and grab that green we've been using for highlands, and we're going to use that to blend this together. Just with one pass, see like that? So with one pass, and it blends. Now at the top, I'm going to blend it a little bit more. Then we're going to add the mountains in. But we want the higher elevations here to have that kind of amber. And we're going to repeat this pattern. It's a long pattern that we're going to repeat of going different colors until we like it. But we kind of have we're kind of getting it. We're definitely getting it. Let's put a highland right up here. Highland right here. Highland right here. And blend that together like same thing down here. Let's kind of blend this. Okay, anytime is fine. All right. Well, if you got to eat, you got to eat. So let me know if 11's better versus lunch. Or I can even stream at 1 o'clock. It's up to you guys. You guys are... I'm doing this because I'm sharing information and I love to help people with their maps. And that means you guys are my top priority when doing this. Let's get in there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Nice little blend right here. Let's go with a... Let's find... Let's go in and let's do our mountains again here because we've kind of lost our mountains. Let's go 100. Let's up our opacity on this. Not pressure, we're just doing opacity. This is our big mountain range right here. Let's make sure we get that in. Just coloring in where the mountains are. Then we'll blend it again. There we go. It's right there. Huge mountains everywhere. We got these cool little mountain tables. Then in the deserts itself, we'll highlight the mountains as well. See how that pops? See how that's starting to read correctly? These guys. These guys. Now, we can change what these... I'm just doing this for color reference more than anything else. But we can change what our mountains are made of. Right now, it's kind of a earthy brownish color. Make sure we get all of our mountains down here. It's like this mountain range is our biggest. So that's going to be collecting the most moisture and keeping it away. So we need to make sure that we are representing this mountain range. We might even need some bigger mountains, and I think we're going to have to do that. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Okay. Got our mountains there. Let's go back to that. Let's choose a different color. Let's kind of do an... Except I don't like that amber. Maybe if we did this guy, that works. That's going to be our lowlands and our deserts. And our deserts are going to take time. Deserts always, I find, take time to get right. Because there's so much strata that hasn't been eroded or is starting to erode or stuff like that. And it can be really difficult kind of to see, but we're going to kind of get in here with this dark color. I'm going to surround some of these mountains with this and go into the lowlands, wherever they might be. There we go. And then when we want to blend, we'll drop our opacity and do circles into the areas. Not where our mountains are, though, but in between everything else. That's going to blend our color together. And again, it's just about controlling that opacity. Oh yeah, if you got to go, please, you know, don't worry about me. I'm just trying. I love interacting with you guys when I see online. This actually is two of my funnest days are Monday and Wednesday when I get to stream with you guys. I really enjoy that. And we got our regulars here too, so I really enjoy that. We're just going to, in these dark lands, we're going to blend this kind of dark color in these lowlands. And see how that's starting to work? That's getting it. We need more mountains here. We need additional range of mountains. These are too small. So we can kind of make that here in a little bit. I'm going into these little valleys and adding just this amber color, and see how that's blending with the green really nice. So we want this arid. And we will just come down into our valleys with this. See how that's starting to gobble up the green? That's what we want. I probably shouldn't have put so much green in this area. Yeah, we're going to need some more mountains. We're definitely going to need some more mountains. Let's go over here on the hills, and let's just kind of add this the same color into this hills and highland area. All this rough area here. That down here. That's going to make things pop. Right on these mountains, we're going to do the same. Then we're going to get that green and kind of juxtapose these, add some more. See that by creeping that up, we are getting our colors that we want. But we definitely need to put some more mountains to match the model of this world. Let me show you guys how I do that. Now, there's two ways to do this, and I want to show you guys, if you're just using the basic art rage, no frills, nothing attached to it, nothing. Let's go ahead and up the opacity down here. No frills, nothing attached. I'm going to show you how to do that in art rage. And then also show you how to use stamps. There's kind of our darker areas. So let's just replace the green with this. I think that's going to be our best option. This is going to represent our arid world. Keep that green near there, and then circles to blend, circles to blend, circles to blend. All right. That's looking pretty cool. Let's keep on doing this, just following the contours of the mountains. And then I'm going to come in. Let's get rid of that green. That green's killing me here. It's killing me, Holmes. We kind of have this nice little yellow thing. Let's go ahead and grab some lighter, kind of a lighter color, and follow it down into these. See where these hills are? We're going to just add just a lighter color into that. Then we have mountains here. We want to make sure those stay the same color. I just blend some of these mountains down. Let's do that. Let's just do little mountains there. All right. There we go. We don't want that green. We want this kind of... Let's go back to our colors. Start. Let's actually put highlights. Let's choose a brighter tan. Let's drop the opacity of that. Just going to start high areas with that. Leave some of that amber there too. Yeah, let's make things pop a little better. We're going to run this into our mountains. And that's going to add a lot more white into our mountains. So you guys kind of get the idea there. I'm just adding colors, 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 colors. This area looks good. Okay, so let's add some mountains. Let me show you how to do that in Art Rage. Okay, first of all, I'm going to draw where the mountains are. So right now, we have these mountains that I want kind of in this area and up into this area to create this kind of desert feel. So we're going to make our pen. That's not there. Let's make them a little bigger. That's good. Okay. So we are going to make a mountain range, and I'm just going to make squiggly snakes where I want the top of these mountains to be. And of course, I'm in another layer, completely in a different layer. So I don't want to mess up any of the textures that I got going here. So let's make some large mountains. Actually, I want some mountains to come right there. And I'm just drawing them out. Getting a feel for where I want them. Let's have them come down into this area. Come down here. Come down here. 1 second. Got to take care of something. All right, coming back. So we got kind of a mountain range there. Oh, let's get this guy here. We need some big mountains here. Let's bring them all the way down, and over here we'll add some more mountains. Maybe we don't need these mountains. Maybe we'll just blend these mountains together a little bit. Maybe we'll just have one here and there. Kind of like a grassland there that moves up. That'd be kind of cool, so we can blend it. And then some more mountains, more mountains. Little divisions of the mountains, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to make that work here. We want this area to be a lot more mountainy. Maybe we have a rift here or something else. There we go. That feels better. That feels a lot better. Maybe And we have some mountains there that I need to color better. That's fine. Anywhere else? No, that's good. So we have this mountain range. We've kind of marked where we want it. The next step is we're going to lock our layer. We're going to lock the transparency, go into the hamburger menu. We're going to go down to blend modes and we're going to have add. I see we're making Persia. Yeah, pretty much. Assyria and Persia and stuff like that. That'd be awesome. Now it looks like this area would be a little greener because I don't want mountains here. So this area would get some moisture a little better, but it's still going to be grasslands and stuff like that. So we have our layer locked. We know where stuff is, and we're going to come down to our mighty, this brush here, the paint tube, and we're just going to squeeze out mountains. So let's use the paint tube. Actually, we're going to make them a certain color. We're just going to add mass, just like that, into it. And you can see it's adding the mass, but we want it to go higher. So we're going to, once we got kind of where we want it with the paint tool, we're going to come back with yield glitter tool. And yes, I'm using glitter. We're going to put the pressure to holy crap, and we're going to add glitter into these mountain ranges. And what's that going to do? We're actually adding mass on top of mass on top of mass. The glitter is going to give us a craggly look. It's going to look a lot better. So and again, this is the peaks of our mountains. It looks bad, but there's a secret technique that I'm going to show you that's going to make these look really good here in a second. Pressure to holy crap, yeah. Holy crap. That is a lot of pressure. But we'll want to make sure the glitter is everywhere. Because the glitter brush in Art Rage dispenses more than anything else. We got our base down with our tube. Rise it above sea level. Then we're using our glitter for a rocky look. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. There we go. So this is one way to do it in Art Rage. Okay, we got our glitter going. We're happy with that. Maybe not down here. Yeah, we want to crack these up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to unlock the transparency. We're going to come over here and we are going to go into a brush setting. Where's my brush settings? There they are. This is it's 3% blur. We're using the blur brush right here, the instant blur, but we are turning the pressure and everything down to about 3%. Save that, and we can, yeah, we're going to save that. We're going to make this big. We're going to make this about 200. We're going to take our instant blur, and we're going to blur these mountains. And the second we start blurring, you notice that we're starting to get, let's actually turn that up just a touch. We're starting to get elevations. It's starting to look like we have some elevation there because the blur is blurring the outside, and we want to make sure we have our transparency off. Actually, we can use, just play with your settings, play with how much blur you want. The higher the blur, the more mountain-like it's going to be. We don't want too much though. Okay, there's my setting, and you see it kind of looks like peaks of mountains. And I'm just running it really careful like. Honestly, the the blur is a little high. That's fine. I'm just trying to be consistent with my settings. All right, so we got that. We got that. We got that. Now it's starting to look a little bit realistic in Art Rage. Oh, thanks, Mr. Kage. I love it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come back with our, let's move this out of the way. We're going to come back with our paint, and we're going to color these the same color as our mountains. Let's make this 500. Opacity up. Oh, lock the transparency, Dan. You just messed up big. Okay, lock our transparency. We're going to color the mountains the same as the mountains below. Actually, let's not do that. Let's show you what we're going to do. We're going to take our scalpel brush. We're going to go to Harsh Chaos, because I love Harsh Chaos, and it's the best. And we're going to go about 250 size. Remember, that's 250% of 500, so I'm about 1,000 pixels here. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to, that's a little big actually for this, so let's go with 100. That's not bad. And I'm going to run this brush around the area of these mountains. And I'm going to click on some, and I'm going to run the brush on some. And that is going to make, just like that, a higher mountain. And I'm leaving the orange in so you guys can see where the paint is spreading. And if I were to color this right now, let's color it the same as the other mountains. Oh, I don't have transparency. We want to make sure our transparency is locked. I have an instant range right there, and I can go in with my brush, break it up a little. Let's unlock the transparency here, break things up, and you see how that's creating our mountains. It's a little time consuming, and I'm just clicking. I'm not clicking directly on the mountain because it splooshes like that. I'm clicking on where the mountain range ends. Pulling into the mountains versus from the mountains away. So we have another little range there. I kind of want to break these up a little so it doesn't look like the line. That looks good. That looks really good. Same thing down here. We want to break that up. Looks like we have a really nice peak right here. Let's make this a good sized mountain right here, like Kilimanjaro. Mount Fuji. See that? That is a really, and again, this is a fast, kind of dirty way to make mountains. Now, if I want to get really, really fancy with this, another thing to do is you can actually merge this layer down into your texture layer under it. And then let's merge that down. So we're going to merge all this down. And now we are going to, this is again another technique. Heavy breathing for mountains, yeah. This is going to take a while, so I apologize about that. Down here, and we can actually now merge these mountains into the body. See how that's looking? I'm merging that into the actual body of what's under it. And that is one way to, and we got mountains, let's kind of blend those in like that. Fun stuff there. So we got our mountains. I'm going to show you another way to do mountains, and this is what I've been doing quite a bit. In a lot of videos about 3 years ago, I showed everybody how to make brushes, how to make stamps for Art Rage. Let's go ahead and we're going to cull this. All right, there it goes. We're going to get rid of this layer. Yes, the layer underneath the colored layer. If I take this colored layer, if I take this layer, this is my texture layer. And I don't want to use a brush on this, because if I use a airbrush with pressure, it's going to actually create, if I hold it down too hard, it's actually going to create some lines, and I don't want that. That's why I've made this other texture layer. Okay, so in my other videos, I've showed everybody how to make brushes in Art Rage, and we're going to apply this to, we're going to apply this to this map. So I've made a bunch of brushes, and we're going to wait for these to get in. And these are kind of topographical brushes. But so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these and I'm going to make realistic mountain layers by just using these brushes I make. And I'm just putting them in place. And I'm switching between them so it looks kind of realistic. Every time I put a new brush down, it's going to be a little more realistic. Still at 100%, keeping everything consistent with the brushes. Now we need to get some big mountains here, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit nuts. Make sure they're connected. believe I have these brushes on, I'm not trying to sell you stuff, but if you want these brushes, I have like 400 of them on Gumroad. I'll put a link in the video. But watch one of my other videos on how to install them first before you like purchase anything. I might make an updated video there so people have a better reference. Now what these are going to do, it's going to perform a realistic topographical map. So we have our mountains there. Put another one right here. I'm just throwing them down, just willy-nilly. One at a time. And I've screwed up. I can tell you right now, I've already screwed up. I'm in the wrong layer. My bad. Let's do it in this layer. Let's go here. Start back. Oops. Start back with these guys. Kind of get them in the direction we want. I'll just show you the effect that this is going to create. Just want one there. I'm kind of matching these up depending on where the mountains are. Don't want to cover them up too bad. But we want some thick mountains here. And you can add these kind of stamps anywhere. I think I can make them available online at my website. No promises though. Because I have to dig them out of my repository of all things I've done. And that's going to take a couple days. Because with maps and stuff, I have like, I think 10 terabytes of stored information. Okay, it goes megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, right? I don't have that wrong. Okay, we're good with amounts here, so let's make some here. And I'm just, you know, whatever. Just grabbing whatever brush. Let's kind of put that bad boy like that. There we go. Then I'll show you what's going on here. Put a big mountain there. That's a good mountain for there. Let's come down here. We can kind of mix and match that. Because we will be modifying some of these mountains, but we want the height and value of these. There we go. There's some mountains every now and again. Hey, Mr. Kage, thank you so much for being here. Really love the comments. Let me know what you want to do. Ooh, that doesn't look like a good brush. I think we're going to skip that brush. That looks like something that shouldn't be there. These are my really little mountains, and we'll use these later. But these are basically eroded mountains brushes that I use. Put one right there. Let's put one right there. 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 I kind of like this right here. This craggly. So let's put some stuff there. Down this region. You know, there's a guy on Facebook that uses my brushes that really likes them. He does some really cool maps. I forgot his name. I'll go look him up, though. He does some great work. Whoops. No. Avantnovis favorites. Come on. All right. Let's connect these two lines here. These two lines. Okay, we got our mountains that we wanted. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add textures around. We're going to click on these brushes. This adds kind of a hilly proportion to the mountains that we got. And then we'll do the magic here in a second. Just adding some texture around these smaller stuff. I'm just choosing different textures. Little ones everywhere. It's definitely lunchtime. I'm getting hungry. Holy cow. just textures here and there, changing it up as we go along. Want to make some hills. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the magic. So we've got our mountains, we've got our textures. We're going to lock this transparency. We're going to hit the menu. We're going to blend mode, and we're going to hit add. Then we're coming back to our big tube. And when we run our big tube, you can see our mountains starting to pop up. Mountains and textures, actually, let's zoom in really close. See that? Now we're going to go to our glitter. Glitter is going to take some time, so we won't do much. You can see like right here how the glitter's adding masses to these mountains. Then we're going to need to blend these mountains into whatever's below them, and that's fine. Right. Let's add in the Mason, hi. We are in Art Rage making mountains. We just got done with a huge amount of biomes, how biomes work, how weathers works, how if we're making fantasy maps, kind of keeping it realistic so it looks realistic. And then with that realism, we can go back and make any fantasy we want to. But it kind of adds a justification for realism. Okay, so that's our mountains we needed to add. Let's color them right now. Let's go to our brush. We'll choose the same color as what's on this. And as we go over that, we see, lo and behold, that just blends in instantly. We got a lot bigger mountain range here, and it looks realistic, just like that. But we keep the red there to kind of know where stuff's going. That's a big mountain range. Check that out. But that's what we wanted for this area, because this is taking up all our... This is making a desert. So these are probably our biggest mountains. There we go. It looks a lot better. Let's go ahead and just take a look at this. Let's unlock the transparency, and let's go into our harsh chaos brush. We're just going to go back and forth where these mountains are to create a blend. Let's go about 250 on that. There we go. 250 on this. See how that's blending everything really nice. All right, we're getting some fun mountains here. Let's pull that in there, pull that in there. We have nice texture. It looks good. We're happy with that. And that's just this is another way you can do mountains with Art Rage. But I like that a lot. Except down here. Down here we need some help. Let's go ahead and go back to our brush. We need some mountains, basically down here. Let's go for something a little bit bigger. Let's make this guy 200. Let's go 150. Let's color this pink so we know where it is. Then we'll make another steep mountain like right there. Again, same process, lock transparency, grab our big tube. Got something cool going there. There we go. And we're going to add our glitter to shape it a little better. See how that just bumps up? All right, and then we are going to color it same color as the other mountains to blend that in. Boom, we have another range of mountains. Of course, we can add mass to that to really shape those. And then we get something like that. So we have our world going. I'm probably going to recolor this. I'm not liking the deserts too much. They're kind of driving me a little nuts. But that's fine. And again, I'm using a totally different layer to color things because the pressure of the... we got a texture issue right here. Just going to come in here, add some glitter. So don't want these islands like that. And then we're going to come in with our harsh chaos. just around to make mountain chain on these islands, just like that. You can kind of see how that's creating mountains, or highlands in this case for the highlands, just in case for these islands. Once we're done here, we're going to color them all the same. You can also do that with this area. Looks like we have some texture issues there. But you can see how that's creating kind of a highland with that just harsh chaos, just that one brush, which I love. Makes me happy. On this island around here, that's creating a nice kind of coastline texture. It looks like I was really neglectful of this area here. So let's go ahead and fix that. Being consistent, making sure that we're getting our highs and lows. All right. And we will color that the rest of this. The reason I'm coloring it like everything else is just for the simple reason that I want consistency and coloring. There we go. All right, that is looking really, really good. I'm liking that. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half, and I've droned on long enough about stuff. But I hope this helps. I hope this can help with your map making. I hope you like this. Let me know what you want in the maps. Let me know if this is worth it to you. I definitely had a good time with everybody. So we will call that good, and we will go from there. Everybody, thanks for coming in. Mason, Mr. Kage, Northern, Birdie, thank you, Birdie. Also, Puppet Master, good. I hope you're seeing these. I hope you're doing well. Mr. J, thank you also for coming here. And we'll just move this back. And this is Dan with Avantnovis. We're a map making company, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We are currently accepting commissions if you need them. We're doing a lot of work. And thank you so much for being here. And again, thank you all the Patreons. Have a great day.